How we doing, everybody, and welcome back to the Catalyst. Today we are going to be talking about ZK rollups and explain them a little bit. So basically, in simple terms, they process a group of payments through one single transaction. So imagine it like you go to a restaurant with your group of your friends, so you get to leave like a single card instead of each of you paying individually. Going deeper though, ZK rollups are one of the new options being developed for layer 2 construction. It increases scalability through these mass transfers, and then the smart contract will deconstruct and verify all the individual transfers kind of after the fact through this single transaction. ZK is for zero knowledge proof. That's kind of what it stands for. Is being used to present and publicly record the validity of the block on Ethereum blockchain. So it reduces computing and storage resources for validating the block by reducing the amount of data held in that transaction. So there's no knowledge required for the data for the transaction to go through. It consists of two types of users. So there's the people creating the transactions and the people relaying that transaction. The transactors create their transfer and broadcast it to the network. The transfer data then consists of any of the indexed to's and from addresses for the value of the transaction, the network fees, etc., while the relayers collect large amount of transfers and then create the rollup. So some pros and cons quickly about ZK rollups as a whole. They reduce fees for each user. They are faster than other optimistic rollups that are similar right now. The blocks will be computed in parallel computing model, which encourages decentralization, which is obviously the whole point of crypto here is decentralization. So that is really strong for us here. There's less data contained in each transaction, which increases the throughput and scalability of layer 2. And I'm really bullish on layer 2 as well, because it's going to be kind of, I think, the connective tissue for a lot of crypto going forward as it gets kind of more adopted through the masses. Additionally, it does not require a fraud verification like optimistic rollup does. So that is typically something that delays withdrawals by upwards of 2 weeks for the optimistic rollups. So it will help improve some of that. Some quick cons as well. The difficulty of computing zero knowledge proof requires more data optimization to get the maximum throughput. So it's a little more complex, but yields a higher result for us. And the initial setup of ZK rollups promotes a centralized scheme. So it's a little bit different in that sense because it's pooling a lot of stuff in one central location. The security of the scheme assumes a level of unverifiable trust, and then the quantum computing possesses a threat to hacking the blockchain. So a few drawbacks, obviously, as there will be with anything, but ultimately being able to create these mass transfers for lower fees with faster times, that's obviously going to be a huge player in crypto in general. Being able to do that is something that would cost so much money, so much time with traditional fiat or traditional ways of transferring money. This is going to be insane. Imagine companies being able to pool all their payments, process all their payments or their fees or whatever through these smart contracts and be able to process it all at once, as opposed to doing it all kind of separately. So I go back to that analogy. It's way faster for you to pay your check at a restaurant if you pay with one card as opposed to the 6 cards that each person paying individually. It's easier for both parties, right? You guys as a group only have to put down one card, only one signature is required, only one check comes. For the restaurant in that example, same thing, they only have to process one card. So it minimizes all of those transactions down into one pooled transaction, which is obviously insanely efficient, insanely beneficial for all parties involved. And I think that's the future of the new applications for crypto, and that's where I think we'll see a lot of development for. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. Peace.